The American bison has long been regarded as a symbol of the vast grasslands of North America. With its massive body, thick coat, and strong adaptability, this animal plays an important role in the natural ecosystem. It helps maintain vegetation, improve soil quality, and create balance within the surrounding environment. For many centuries, bison once existed in extremely large numbers before declining due to overexploitation. Today, the species is better protected and more effectively managed. At the same time, it is also utilized under controlled conditions to meet food demand. This creates a balance between wildlife conservation and modern economic development. Bison provide significant economic value across multiple industries. Their meat is highly favored due to its high protein content, low fat levels, and suitability for modern healthy diets. In addition, bison hides are extremely durable and widely used in fashion, furniture, and various consumer products. Other parts, such as bones and byproducts, are also utilized in different industrial applications. Thanks to this comprehensive use, the value of each individual animal is maximized. This not only reduces waste, but also enhances overall economic efficiency. As a result, bison have become an important resource within the global food supply chain. The biological characteristics of bison are clearly reflected in their large body size and well-developed muscular system. This structure enables them to adapt effectively to harsh natural environments, especially open grasslands. Their low fat content is one of the most notable features, indicating high mobility and endurance. Additionally, their thick skin and dense fur provide protection against cold temperatures and strong winds. These factors not only determine survival capability, but also influence the practical value of the animal. Understanding their physical structure and biological traits helps accurately assess the potential of each individual under farming or harvesting conditions. During the management and utilization process, classification plays an essential role in evaluating quality and development potential. Individuals are typically categorized based on weight, age, and overall health condition. Those with greater body mass and strong physical condition are often considered more valuable. In addition, factors such as gender and growth rate are also taken into account for herd management purposes. Monitoring body weight helps determine growth performance and adaptability of each individual. This allows managers to make appropriate decisions to optimize efficiency and maintain a stable, high-quality bison population over time. When entering the processing stage, the entire procedure is carried out under professional standards with strict control. Bison are brought into a processing line where each step is performed continuously and in coordination between different sections. The primary goal at this stage is to ensure hygiene and preserve meat quality. Operations are conducted quickly and accurately to minimize environmental impact. Although not going into technical detail, this stage remains a critical step that directly affects the final product quality throughout the entire production chain. After the initial processing stage is completed, the meat moves on to cutting and product finishing. At this stage, the meat is divided into different portions to meet diverse consumer demands. Each part is handled carefully to ensure consistency and maintain high commercial value. Immediately afterward, the meat is transferred into a cooling system to preserve freshness and limit bacterial growth. The packaging process follows strict standards, allowing the product to be stored for longer periods and transported over long distances. Thanks to cold chain logistics, bison meat can reach various markets around the world. Overall, the entire process demonstrates that bison are not only a natural species, but also a key component of the modern food industry. Scientific organization of harvesting and processing helps maximize value while ensuring product quality. This approach not only meets market demand, but also opens up sustainable development opportunities. In the future, bison may continue to play an important role in the global supply chain, meeting the growing and increasingly diverse consumption needs worldwide.
Marine fishing activities take place both in nearshore and offshore areas, depending on the characteristics of each species and natural conditions. Fishermen use various types of fishing vessels with different capacities, combined with gear such as purse seines, trawls, and long lines to harvest marine resources. Throughout the process, monitoring weather conditions, wind direction, and ocean currents is essential to ensure safety. Seafood brought on board is usually chilled immediately with ice or refrigerated storage systems to reduce spoilage. When vessels return to port, the catch is preliminarily sorted before moving to further processing stages. Tuna is an oceanic species typically harvested in offshore waters. ranging in size from small to large individuals. During fishing operations, fishermen often throw bait into the water to attract schools of tuna around the vessel. They then use rods or lines equipped with hooks to catch the fish directly. When a fish takes the bait, the rod is jerked firmly to secure the hook in the fish's mouth. Pulling the fish on board requires both strength and technique to prevent it from slipping off. In some cases, purse seines are also used when large schools appear near the surface. Combining observation with quick action helps improve harvesting efficiency.
The amount is far smaller than with purse seine.
Small pelagic fish, such as anchovies, herrings, and mackerel often form large schools near the surface, allowing for high catch efficiency in a short time. Fishermen use purse seines or trawls to surround and quickly gather the fish. During peak seasons, the catch volume can be very high in a single operation. After being brought on board, the fish are iced or chilled to maintain freshness. Some vessels may process or dry the fish immediately during transit. Upon landing, the fish are sorted by size and uniformity. Processing continues without interruption to prevent quality loss due to prolonged storage time. Squid and octopus are more active at night, so fishing activities mainly occur under low light conditions. Fishermen use lighting systems to attract them near the vessel, then catch them using hooks or traps. Some vessels are equipped with high-powered lights to increase efficiency. Once on board, squid and octopus must be processed and chilled immediately to preserve freshness, as delays can quickly reduce quality. Upon returning to shore, the catch is sorted based on size, condition, and integrity. Processing is carried out quickly and continuously to avoid the effects of environmental temperature and extended storage time. Crabs and swimming crabs typically inhabit seabeds or coastal areas with sandy or muddy substrates. Fishermen use traps or bottom nets, placing them underwater for a certain period. After the crabs enter the traps, they are collected when fishermen return to check them. This process may take several hours or overnight. After harvesting, the crabs are kept alive in seawater conditions or lightly chilled to reduce activity. Once ashore, they are sorted by size, weight, and condition. Smaller or unsuitable individuals are separated. Handling must be done carefully to minimize damage and loss. Large sea clams usually live in sandy or muddy seabeds and offshore depths where conditions are stable and natural food sources are abundant. Harvesting is carried out using large-capacity vessels equipped with bottom trawls or specialized mechanical dredging systems to operate over wide areas. Once areas with high clam density are identified, vessels move along designated routes, dragging gear close to the seabed to collect them. During this process, clams are gathered together with sand and sediment. Adjusting vessel speed, depth, and towing direction is crucial for improving efficiency and ensuring stable yields. Marine fishing involves various groups of seafood with different biological characteristics and behaviors. Each type requires specific harvesting and handling methods to achieve optimal efficiency. The process is closely associated with immediate cooling, preservation, and sorting after capture. Natural conditions such as weather, ocean currents, and fishing seasons directly influence the results. The use of modern equipment helps support more efficient and stable fishing operations.
Each year, the world harvests and farms over 220 million tons of seafood, with around 177 million tons used directly as food for humans. Seafood not only provides essential protein for billions of people, but also supports the livelihoods of tens of millions of workers worldwide. As a result, the fishing industry has become an indispensable part of the global ocean economy and culinary culture. In today's journey, we will explore impressive fishing methods and remarkable moments from fishermen around the world. Our journey begins in Indonesia with the purse seine method for catching yellowfin tuna, a large-scale technique that requires significant investment and precise coordination. With modern equipment, vessels can locate schools of tuna from a distance. Once the target is identified, a smaller boat carrying the net quickly encircles the fish, while a helicopter above tracks their movement and adjusts the strategy in real time. Motorboats assist by driving the fish toward the center, preventing them from escaping. As the circle tightens, the main vessel hauls in the net, reducing the space to gather the entire school. These nets can stretch for kilometers and reach hundreds of feet deep, large enough to enclose massive groups. The fish are then lifted using specialized net bags and transferred into storage holds, ready for preservation and transport. Next, we head to the waters of Alaska, home to the king crab, one of the most valuable seafood species in the world. Unlike tuna, king crabs live on the ocean floor, making pot traps the most effective method. Fishermen drop heavy metal cages into the sea and wait before using powerful hydraulic winches to pull them back up. Once opened, the crabs are sorted directly on deck. Only those that meet size regulations are kept, while smaller crabs and females are returned to the ocean to sustain the population. This process not only ensures economic value, but also supports long-term resource management. We now move to a more intense method, shark fishing. With an extremely sharp sense of smell, sharks can detect bait from miles away. As soon as the bait hits the water, they quickly approach and strike. Once hooked, sharks fight back fiercely, creating a tense struggle between humans and one of the ocean's top predators. However, due to global population decline, shark fishing is now restricted or banned in many countries to protect ecological balance. In the next part of the journey, we explore grouper fishing, a species known for its strength and aggression. Groupers typically live near the seabed, hiding among reefs and ambushing their prey. Fishermen use live bait to trigger their hunting instincts. Once hooked, groupers not only struggle violently, but also try to cling to the bottom, making them extremely difficult to reel in. This intense battle turns grouper fishing into a true test of both skill and endurance. After hours of persistence, landing such a fish becomes not only an economic reward, but also a hard-earned victory. Equally important is lobster fishing using traps, a widely used and effective method. Fishermen lower traps to the seabed for several hours, allowing lobsters to crawl inside. The traps are then pulled up and the catch is sorted by size. Market-sized lobsters are kept and stored in tanks to maintain freshness. With their high market value, a single trip can generate significant income, especially in areas with abundant resources. On a smaller scale, many fishermen still rely on traditional methods, diving to catch lobsters by hand with simple tools. Equipped with masks, fins, and breathing gear, divers descend to the ocean floor to search for lobsters hiding in rock crevices. When spotted, they use a metal hook to secure the catch. This method requires skill and breath control, as time underwater is limited. Each dive may yield only a modest number, but it offers greater precision and selectivity. From modern vessels to traditional techniques, every fishing method reflects human adaptability, skill, and persistence in facing the ocean. In the end, what stands out is not just the yield or the technique, but the challenging journey to bring food back to land. Which method impressed you the most? Share your thoughts and don't forget to follow for more fascinating stories.
In recent decades, technology has quietly transformed the entire fishing industry. Modern vessels, precise navigation systems, and advanced preservation equipment have expanded human limits on the open ocean. But behind those impressive numbers lies a high-pressure journey, where every net cast, every line dropped is a gamble against nature. And that journey begins in the deep waters, where the most valuable seafood species remain hidden. In the vast open ocean, swordfish has always been one of the most challenging targets to conquer. For many sport fishermen in the United States, this is not just another fish, it is a true test. They use specialized rods and lines designed to withstand extreme tension. But the moment the fish bites, everything changes instantly. The line goes tight, the water erupts, and from that moment on, the battle begins. Swordfish are not only powerful, but also highly unpredictable. They burst forward at high speed, dive deep, then suddenly change direction, forcing fishermen to constantly adjust their drag. The struggle can last for minutes, sometimes even longer, before the fish begins to weaken. But the danger doesn't come from strength alone. The sword-like bill, perfect for hunting, can also become a dangerous weapon. There have been real accidents in the past when these fish reacted aggressively, turning the hunt into a high-risk encounter. But if swordfish represents a direct confrontation, large-scale fishing tells a completely different story. In deep waters, fishermen deploy longline systems stretching hundreds of meters. As the lines are hauled in, each section grows heavier, almost as if the entire ocean is being pulled onto the deck. Every movement must be fast and precise. The moment fish are brought on board, they are processed and chilled immediately to preserve quality. At this stage, speed is not just efficiency, it determines value. Among the many harvested species, halibut stands out. With annual catches reaching tens of thousands of tons, it has become a major supply source for global markets. Fishing vessels typically depart from the United States, Canada, and Iceland, regions known for ideal conditions. Before each multi-day trip, tens of thousands of hooks are carefully prepared, along with modern refrigeration systems to ensure quality from the very moment of capture. Halibut live at depths ranging from 30 to over 200 meters, a cold and stable environment. Once hauled up, fish that meet size standards are processed immediately on deck and stored at low temperatures. After reaching port, they move through a strict processing chain, sorting, filleting, packaging, or kept whole. High-quality products are often exported to demanding markets like Japan and South Korea, where even the smallest detail can impact final value. If halibut represents scale, then Maine lobster is a symbol of selectivity and sustainability. Each year, tens of thousands of tons are harvested, generating enormous economic value. But what makes it unique lies in how it is caught. At dawn, boats leave the harbor carrying hundreds of traps marked by buoys. These traps are not just for catching, but for protecting long-term resources. After 1 to 2 days, the traps are hauled up. Lobsters that meet size requirements are kept, while smaller ones or those carrying eggs are released back into the ocean. This process ensures the population is not overexploited. Once back at port, lobsters are sorted, rapidly frozen at extremely low temperatures, or partially processed before export. Behind each lobster is a tightly controlled system, where value lies not only in the product, but in sustainability. In another corner of the ocean, giant octopus presents a completely different challenge. Living among rocky crevices in deeper waters, they are known for intelligence and camouflage. Fishermen use specialized traps placed on the seabed and wait for hours. When pulled up, each octopus weighing dozens of kilograms is carefully selected, while smaller individuals are returned to the natural environment. From the depths of the ocean to the dining table, the journey of each seafood product is a combination of technology and experience. But no matter how advanced the systems become, the human factor cannot be replaced. Amid waves and pressure, fishermen continue to work tirelessly at sea, facing the true limits of nature. And perhaps what they bring back is not only valuable seafood, but a testament to human resilience against the vast ocean.
Why is crocodile leather considered one of the most luxurious materials in the fashion world? From exquisite handbags and handcrafted shoes to high-end accessories, every piece of crocodile leather carries a unique value. Its durability, distinctive scale patterns, and rarity have made it a symbol of elegance. But behind these luxury products lies a tightly organized farming and processing industry. So what exactly has turned crocodile leather into the soft gold of the global luxury industry? Crocodiles are among the oldest reptiles still living on Earth. They appeared millions of years ago and have changed very little through evolution. With thick skin made of hard scales and one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, crocodiles are formidable predators in nature. Most of them live in freshwater habitats such as swamps, rivers, and lakes, where they can remain hidden beneath the water while waiting for prey. Today, to meet the demand for high-end leather, many countries have developed large-scale crocodile farms. Enclosures are built with strong high walls for safety and usually include a central water pool and dry areas where crocodiles can rest and bask in the sun. The pools are typically 50 to 100 centimeters deep, allowing crocodiles to move easily and regulate body temperature. The enclosures are also divided by age groups, such as juveniles, adults, and breeding crocodiles, making management easier and reducing conflicts between individuals. During the breeding season, female crocodiles dig nests in soft soil or sand to lay their eggs, then cover them with sand for protection. In the wild, the mother usually stays nearby to guard the nest, so collecting eggs on farms must be done very carefully, often early in the morning or at night when the mother is less active. After being removed from the nest, the eggs are cleaned of mucus and placed into incubation trays filled with sand or moisture-retaining materials. The incubation temperature is typically maintained between 29 and 34 degrees Celsius, and the eggs hatch after about 65 to 90 days. When the eggs begin to crack, farmers monitor closely and may assist the hatchlings if necessary to ensure they emerge safely. After hatching, the baby crocodiles are moved to separate tanks with clean water and stable temperatures. At first, they are fed small fish or minced meat to make digestion easier. This early stage is very important because the young crocodiles are still weak. As they grow, their diet gradually changes to larger food such as chicken heads or fresh meat. Since growth rates differ, farmers usually separate crocodiles by size to prevent larger ones from overpowering smaller individuals. Although crocodiles have powerful digestion and can eat large meals, feeding must be carefully controlled to avoid triggering aggressive behavior. After about 2 to 2.5 years of farming, crocodiles reach the appropriate size for harvest, when their skin has the best quality for the leather industry. In many modern farms, the handling process follows strict procedures to ensure worker safety and product quality. After being transported to processing facilities, the crocodiles undergo a careful skinning process. Technicians cut along marked lines to separate the skin from the meat without damaging the natural scale pattern. This step is critical because the value of crocodile leather depends greatly on the perfection of the scales. The meat is then processed separately, washed, cut into portions, and packaged for the food market. In many cuisines, crocodile meat is considered a unique ingredient with a distinctive flavor. Meanwhile, crocodile skins go through a much more complex treatment process. After cleaning, the skins are tanned, chemically treated, and dyed to create soft leather while preserving the natural scale structure. These prepared skins are then sent to workshops where artisans craft them into handbags, wallets, watch straps, and other luxury accessories. Each crocodile leather product goes through many meticulous handcrafted steps, from selecting the most beautiful scale sections to cutting and stitching. The combination of rare material and skilled craftsmanship has made crocodile leather a symbol of luxury. If you find this content interesting, please like and subscribe to see more fascinating videos. See you again. The Gulf of Mexico has always hidden deep mysteries. But on what seemed like a very peaceful morning, the surface of the sea suddenly turned a frightening shade of red. On the deck of the boat, shouts rang out, not out of fear, but because of a sight so astonishing that even the most experienced fishermen stood frozen in disbelief. Hundreds of thousands of red snappers suddenly surfaced at the same time, rushing into containers and spilling across the deck, forming a vivid and chaotic red waterfall. The sound of fins striking metal, the deck vibrating under the weight, everything blended into a powerful roar that made the entire vessel seem to tremble in the middle of the ocean. Adult red snapper typically weigh between 4.5 and 13.6 kilograms. Their long bodies, golden orange eyes, and bright red scales make them stand out among any school of fish. They usually live at depths ranging from about 9 to 60 meters, especially around coral reefs. Many schools also gather around shipwrecks or underwater structures where they can hide and hunt for prey. However, their striking appearance is only part of the story. Red snapper are actually one of the most valuable commercial fish species in the United States. Fishermen often affectionately call them the red gold of the ocean. For many coastal communities, this fish brings enormous income every year, making each fishing trip a precious opportunity. Because just beneath the surface, the schools of red fish begin to swirl. The water foams as if a small whirlpool is slowly forming. The anglers simply need to keep the right rhythm, drop the bait gently, give the rod a precise jerk, and reel in at the perfect moment. When the bait falls directly into the center of the school, Everything happens almost instantly. The timing also coincides with the season when red snapper feed aggressively, attacking almost anything that moves in front of them. The result is a rare spectacle. More than 100,000 red snappers are pulled onto the boat in a single morning. As soon as the red snappers are brought onto the deck, processing begins immediately like a perfectly coordinated sequence of actions. The fish are quickly transferred into a chilling system where their body temperature is lowered close to freezing within minutes. As the number of fish piling up on deck continues to increase, the crew must work in precise coordination to sort them. The largest fish, with firm and powerful muscles, are placed directly into deep ice containers. Smaller ones are separated for later processing. While the deck remains covered with fish, the fishing rods continue working without pause. Inside the cabin, the captain carefully monitors radar and current sensors to ensure the boat stays directly above the concentration of fish. When the number of fish pulled up approaches the legal limit, he immediately signals to slow down the catch. Even though the school of red snapper remains dense beneath the vessel, they are still forced to stop. The sea only allows them a certain amount of fish, and those regulations must be respected. After the vessel returns to port, each fish continues through another stage of classification according to size and quality. Fish that are too young, scratched, or below standard are removed. The remaining ones are washed with sterilized seawater before moving to a modern vacuum packing line. Here, each bag or tray of fish is carefully vacuum sealed to prevent bacterial growth and extend shelf life. Inside the processing plant, the red snapper must pass strict quality control procedures. Each fish is weighed, measured, and graded into several categories such as standard, large, or giant. The color of the flesh, firmness, and freshness are all carefully inspected. Some fish are processed directly into premium products such as fresh fillets, whole frozen fish, or special cuts used for sushi. Many shipments are also packed according to specific standards for export markets. In addition, processes such as bone removal and microbiological treatment are performed on modern automated production lines. This ensures that the entire process meets international food safety and hygiene standards. Once completed, the boxes of red snapper are ready to be transported to major markets such as the United States, Japan, and South Korea. There, they appear in luxury restaurants, five-star hotels, and high-end seafood banquets. However, the ocean is changing, and the seafood industry is entering a new stage filled with challenges. The future of the iconic red snapper of the Gulf of Mexico has become more uncertain than ever. We can only hope that the ocean will continue to preserve treasures like the red snapper. But their future, like that of the ocean itself, remains something no one can predict with certainty. On steep cliffs deep in the mountain forests, honey hunters hang suspended on thin ropes. Beneath them lies a deep void, while thousands of bees swarm densely around massive honeycombs. A single slip or a strong gust of wind could send them falling hundreds of meters. Yet for experienced honey hunters, this dangerous scene has become a familiar part of their work. It is considered one of the most dangerous natural harvesting jobs, where humans confront wild nature directly to collect precious drops of honey. Wild honeycombs are often extremely large and hang beneath cliff faces or high tree branches. A single comb can be more than a meter wide and weigh dozens of kilograms. Inside each hive, tens of thousands of bees live and guard their valuable honey. These wild honeybees are known for their strong defensive behavior. When they sense vibrations or threats, the entire swarm can emerge and cover the surrounding area. For this reason, approaching these giant hives is always a serious challenge, even for experienced honey hunters. The wild honey harvest usually takes place twice a year when forest flowers bloom the most. The first season typically runs from March to May, while the second lasts from September to November. During this time, bee colonies are strongest and the hives contain the greatest amount of honey. Each harvesting trip may last from several days to an entire week. Honey hunters usually work in teams so they can support one another during travel and harvesting. Before beginning the journey, honey hunters must prepare all necessary equipment. Strong ropes and long rope ladders are the most important tools, allowing them to climb tall trees or descend steep cliffs. Anchor points are carefully checked to ensure the ropes can support heavy weight. They also bring bamboo or woven baskets to collect pieces of honeycomb after they are cut down. Sharp knives or long sickles are prepared to cut the comb quickly and accurately. To approach the hive without provoking a violent attack from the bees, hunters use a traditional smoke method. They carry bundles of dry leaves, grass, and hot embers to produce thick smoke. When smoke spreads around the hive, the bees often leave temporarily. This allows the hunter to approach more easily. They also use long bamboo poles to maintain distance from the hive while working. After preparing their equipment, the hunting team begins traveling deep into the forest where the hives are located. There are no paved roads or wide paths, only narrow trails covered with damp leaves. Sometimes they must cross small streams or climb slippery rocks. Large tree roots rising above the ground make movement even more difficult. After hours of moving through rugged terrain, they finally reach the area where giant honeycombs hang from cliffs or tall branches. When they reach the hive, one hunter ties a rope around his body and slowly descends the cliff using a rope ladder or climbs a tall tree. Bundles of dry leaves are burned to produce smoke that pushes the bees away from the hive for a short time. Once close enough, the hunter uses a long sickle or sharp knife to cut the honey-filled section of the comb. Large pieces of honeycomb are then lowered into baskets held by people waiting below. After the honeycombs are brought to the ground, the honey processing begins. The combs are usually gently crushed or pressed through a clean cloth to extract raw honey. The honey is then filtered several times to remove wax and impurities. After filtering, the honey is left to settle naturally for 24 to 48 hours. Finally, it is poured into clean glass or plastic bottles for storage. A bottle of wild honey may look simple, but behind every drop is a dangerous journey. Hunters must hang from cliffs while facing swarms of bees and rugged terrain. Their courage and experience bring the forest's liquid gold to people. Each year, the world harvests and farms over 220 million tons of seafood, with around 177 million tons used directly as food for humans. Seafood not only provides essential protein for billions of people, but also supports the livelihoods of tens of millions of workers worldwide. As a result, the fishing industry has become an indispensable part of the global ocean economy and culinary culture. In today's journey, we will explore impressive fishing methods and remarkable moments from fishermen around the world. Our journey begins in Indonesia with the purse seine method for catching yellowfin tuna, a large-scale technique that requires significant investment and precise coordination. With modern equipment, vessels can locate schools of tuna from a distance. Once the target is identified, a smaller boat carrying the net quickly encircles the fish, while a helicopter above tracks their movement and adjusts the strategy in real time. Motorboats assist by driving the fish toward the center, preventing them from escaping. As the circle tightens, the main vessel hauls in the net, reducing the space to gather the entire school. These nets can stretch for kilometers and reach hundreds of feet deep, large enough to enclose massive groups. The fish are then lifted using specialized net bags and transferred into storage holds, ready for preservation and transport. Next, we head to the waters of Alaska, home to the king crab, one of the most valuable seafood species in the world. Unlike tuna, king crabs live on the ocean floor, making pot traps the most effective method. Fishermen drop heavy metal cages into the sea and wait before using powerful hydraulic winches to pull them back up. Once opened, the crabs are sorted directly on deck. Only those that meet size regulations are kept, while smaller crabs and females are returned to the ocean to sustain the population. This process not only ensures economic value, but also supports long-term resource management. We now move to a more intense method, shark fishing. With an extremely sharp sense of smell, sharks can detect bait from miles away. As soon as the bait hits the water, they quickly approach and strike. Once hooked, sharks fight back fiercely, creating a tense struggle between humans and one of the ocean's top predators. However, due to global population decline, shark fishing is now restricted or banned in many countries to protect ecological balance. In the next part of the journey, we explore grouper fishing, a species known for its strength and aggression. Groupers typically live near the seabed, hiding among reefs and ambushing their prey. Fishermen use live bait to trigger their hunting instincts. Once hooked, groupers not only struggle violently but also try to cling to the bottom, making them extremely difficult to reel in. This intense battle turns grouper fishing into a true test of both skill and endurance. After hours of persistence, landing such a fish becomes not only an economic reward, but also a hard-earned victory. Equally important is lobster fishing using traps, a widely used and effective method. Fishermen lower traps to the seabed for several hours, allowing lobsters to crawl inside. The traps are then pulled up, and the catch is sorted by size. Market-sized lobsters are kept and stored in tanks to maintain freshness. With their high market value, a single trip can generate significant income, especially in areas with abundant resources. On a smaller scale, many fishermen still rely on traditional methods, diving to catch lobsters by hand with simple tools. Equipped with masks, fins, and breathing gear, divers descend to the ocean floor to search for lobsters hiding in rock crevices. When spotted, they use a metal hook to secure the catch. This method requires skill and breath control, as time underwater is limited. Each dive may yield only a modest number, but it offers greater precision and selectivity. From modern vessels to traditional techniques, every fishing method reflects human adaptability, skill, and persistence in facing the ocean. In the end, what stands out is not just the yield or the technique, but the challenging journey to bring food back to land. Which method impressed you the most? Share your thoughts and don't forget to follow for more fascinating stories.